What's going on? We're back for another amazing episode of the Innovator Hour. And I have a very special guest in the building, man. I got my guy, Nate Perry.
Yes,
Nate
sir.
Perry Films. How you doing?
Good, man. Good, man. Thanks for having me, guys.
Nah, definitely. First, I want to say it's a pleasure and a blessing to have you here. I appreciate you coming through today.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Off tops. So to start off, can you let the people know where you're from and where they can find you on social media?
Well, I'm from L.A. I'm originally from Florida. That's where I was, raised. But I'm from L.A. right now, yeah.
So I know you do a lot. You film, you direct, you take pictures. You got a movie coming out. Can you let the people know what all you do?
Well, I guess first and foremost, I'm a content creator, but started with directing and DP and everything was just a camera.
Yeah.
So, I mean, really, it was just when I had a camera, it was photography, then it got into music videos, and then it got into commercial work and events and everything like that. But the main thing was just any way of content creation, because having a camera is valuable, and it was just I learned that early on.
Yeah. What was it? First, when did you shoot your first video?
Well, I shot my first music video. My first videos were skate videos, and that's kind of the first thing I did with a camera, and then video camera. And when I had a video camera, someone just asked me can you do a music video? And I was like a VH1 MTV music video, and they're a rap Lil Wayne music video. And I was like, well, I love Lil Wayne, man, of course. And I'm 14, man, 14, 15 was when I started messing around with my friends.
Yeah.
And I had my boy Nick and Zay, and they were just we're in 8th grade, 9th grade, and we're going on ripping Lil Wayne beats off of line, and then they would go rap 16 bars on it, or even just rap their lyrics, Lil Wayne's lyrics, and just try to remake the song.
Yeah.
And then we make a music video in front of a graffiti wall, or some train tracks or something cool, to try to steeze up some type of music video.
That's tight. What was the first camera that you used?
It was a Nikon, but then I got a Canon early on, I guess, to shoot videos a little bit more crisp. And so the Canon T3i was the first camera, and then I got a 5D Mark II soon after that, because I realized Mac Miller and Wiz Khalifa were doing these really kind of low budget but really high quality looking videos, and I was like, what camera is that?
Yeah.
And then I found out they're using a 5D Mark II, and I was like, oh man, it's pretty expensive, but I'll save up these couple $100s from these music videos and put that investment in there.
Yeah.
And then it was just built up soon after that,
Like you said, though, I think a camera is a good ass investment, because you can make a lot of money with your camera.
Yeah, and I didn't even realize it too much that. It was I just wanted to have the highest quality.
Yeah.
So I didn't think about having the highest quality as being an investment also, because when you have the highest quality, obviously you kind of separate yourself from other people.
Everybody else, of course.
Yeah.
Nah, I definitely agree with that. What was it that made you want to start shooting videos?
It was just curiosity and doing anything other than that stereotypical way of working, working a 9 to 5. Because I worked at a pizza spot for a year, and honestly, I felt I ran that spot. I want to say real stuff. I ran that spot, and they know it. They would leave me by myself to make the pizzas for all these parties of kids and everything like that. Man, it'd be crazy. But I used that type of work ethic in my own I guess freelance world, and I didn't do anything ever. I've never worked a job other than my own freelance work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I kind of partnered with other companies like Rivet Entertainment, stuff like that, to do I guess small projects and stuff like that behind the scenes and stuff like that. But and Universal and stuff but it would never be I'm working for them. Yeah. It was just outsourced independent contractor type work.
Yeah. What advice would you give to someone who aspires to not work a 9 to 5, but everybody can't do it?
Well, all right. So I would honestly, this is what I tell kids that are 14, 15, the age I started.
Yeah.
I say if you have any interest and you think photos are cool, and you think the way you edit photos are cool, and if you think the way that videos are creatively chopped up or anything that's where you would start stemming the idea of getting into the film industry or anything like that. Because you got to have that little spark of creativity. You're not going to be forcing yourself to make videos all day, because it's strenuous. When someone hits you up and they're hey, listen to this song, and you're having 10 people hit you up to listen to a song every day, and write a treatment to that extent of give me a plot that will make me famous in a way. video idea will make me like the dopest.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, it's a lot of like stress, so you can't just force that onto somebody like early on. You gotta like grow into that point. So when you're early and you want to get into the world, I think you just gotta like kind of see if you're even up for it. If you have that like niche, like you're like, okay, well, this is fun, and then it will just be fun forever, and you'll make money doing it, but yet you won't really think of it like so forced to make money. You'll think like, the more I create, the more like I guess work I'll get, and that just like it's just money is work or whatever. You're just like always creating something, you know?
Yeah, nah, definitely. Yeah. What are some other content creators or directors you look up to?
Man, that's actually a good question, because a lot of people ask me that, but like I don't know how to explain it other than this way. And it's like when I was early on, like I didn't know big directors. Like I didn't think of their like I didn't look at a music video I liked and then be like, what's that director? Like other people would do that, and I didn't do that. The way I would do it is like I would watch like my favorite artists, and eventually I would just be like, who is the guy shooting their music video? So it was like in the beginning, Mac Miller and Wiz Khalifa, they had like some people, Mac Miller had the Rex Arrow films, and then I was watching a lot of Hobson videos too, and that was like a lot of the ways that I feel like I got even more into just being like, I can just do anything with this camera. I can pretty much just like, he's creative. He has a cool friend and just raps. And so, Justin Jones and George Orozco were like, the two dudes doing their music videos. And I'm like obsessed with them even back in Florida. Yeah. And then I moved out here and actually met them and was like working with them and like friends with them. And I'm like, that's even cooler, because they're not on like, all respect to like honestly, they're not like the craziest biggest level, because obviously there's like people that are getting these like multi-$100,000 budgets and shit all day, and like everybody inspires to be that, but like they're at the level that I see is like, that's where I'm like, I respect them so much, because I grew from that. I didn't sit there and look at the biggest director and be like, I want to be that, because Colin Tilley, like all respect to him too, and I worked with him doing behind the scenes with him. He's like, you know what I mean, like it's a whole different style when you're working with like these super A-list celebrities. Like you get budgets that you're just like unreal, and you feel like you're just like one little part of the whole big project, versus like someone like me and someone like Justin Jones and like George Orozco, that will literally get the budget themselves, and they are like the sole person that has to create the whole project. And no one gets that. Like no one gets to like, you're the only one who's like, hey, I have a budget, do this whole thing with it, create this whole project with it, we're giving you everything. And then you had to like deliver. And if you can deliver, you get more work. But some people kind of fall out. Some people be like, I fucked up. You know what I mean?
That's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure when you're spending other people's money, and you have to show them where it goes. You know what I mean? You can't be like, well, I got this budget and I'm just going to take it and put it in pocket. You know what I mean? And that's how it works too. You don't just take this shit and put it in pocket. That's the realest thing. Because some people will be like, oh, I'll take $3,000, $5,000, I'll just put that right in the pocket, and that will show in your work. You know what I mean? So like, you gotta really invest in your work. You know what I mean? So
you're saying be prepared to make little to nothing off of the budget
when you're starting out, for sure, man. Like honestly, like when you're starting out, you gotta be like let's put it this way: the first 10, 15 music videos I did were all for my friends, just for fun, just because I was just getting some like, and I now look at it as like, that was my portfolio. That's what you show people when you want to get work. You know what I mean? So I didn't look at it like that early on. I was just like, let me get some type of like, just get a couple music videos that shoot something, and then when I'd show that to people, I'd get work. So early on, you're not gonna really think of it as like, I'm gonna get a camera. Well, I got a camera, it's $2,000. Well, the lens costs $500, and I got to get this editing software monthly, and I got to do this. So I got to make this much to be able to like pay back my. No, don't look at it like that. Have fun with it. Do different stuff. Like do something different. Because now everybody has a camera, and this camera is better than a Canon 5D. You know what I mean? Like straight up, it shoots 4K 60 frames, 1080, 120, and it's like the resolution of it can be over anything else. So when I tell people like, if you have a cell phone, you're pretty much already in the door. You have $1,000 camera at that point. There's cameras that are $400 or $500. Now you have $1,000 camera that you just use for Instagram. So like use that. And so now you see people with the phones, a little stabilizer with the phone, and I respect that, because I had a $500 camera when I first started out. Now they have a $1,000 camera, and they just utilize it in more ways. So like I'm like, do whatever you got to do. You know what I mean? Like I don't judge anybody on that.
No, I definitely think that's big with anything. I feel like when you're being creative and you're trying to like brand yourself and turn what you do into a career, you gotta be willing to make no money. You gotta be willing to put everything into it.
And I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I feel like if you do it in the right way, and like what I feel like I see a lot of people saying is like, oh, if I do 10 music videos this month at $500 a piece, then I'm making $5,000 or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whatever. And I'm like, don't look at it like that. But if you are doing it in the right way, you can obviously obtain like any amount of money that you want with music videos. Like if you were pumping out the right music videos, right budgets, everything, it's just the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
And actually just thinking on that, when I was in high school, there was a little thing on the wall and it was like all these careers, and it said like all like obviously like doctor, lawyer, everything was at the top of like careers, like the most money. Yeah. And it said how much money they made averagely on a year, and like filmmaker and like photographer was at the bottom. All right. And so once I started realizing like that was like, oh man, it doesn't really seem like it's gonna make a lot of money, but it's like one of the more artists, painters, you know, and stuff like that are at the bottom. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that's not the way it has to be. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't want to say like you get in this, you know, industry and even be rich or anything like that, because I'm not or anything like that. But you can get in here and you can kind of pretty much be free. You're freelance. You know what I mean? Like however much money you can charge because of your talent. Like, so there's people out there that have just started working. They got big exposure right off rip, and they're charging quadruple what I charge, right? But it's because it's the day and age of this media and stuff like that. You work with big artists already. Now all of a sudden you have like leverage. You know, people want to work with you. People just want your name. They don't care what kind of camera you have. But that's the most respectful stuff too, because some of my friends do that, and I like tell them, I'll like DM them, I'll be like, bro, honestly, like people would sit there and like judge and be like, nah man, he surpassed me or something like that, and it's like, no, like that's like the goal. That's like where you're like thinking like, dude, it's pretty much that easy if I just work hard enough. And some of those people dedicated their life, like sleeping on the ground like for a whole year, making nothing. You know what I mean? Just with paying for their food and stuff. He's making nothing, wearing the same clothes for a whole year. You know what I mean? And then it's like that person now is on tour with these big people and he's getting big checks and stuff like that, doing music videos, hitting me up, hey Nate, I need a DP. And it still stays in contact, man. It's like, I don't really judge none of that stuff, man, because like I see like myself at a level eventually, whatever year, like time or whatever, and that's the same type of approach you have to have with everybody. You got to still be connected with the people you started with, you know. So
how hard is it for you to put a treatment together?
Not hard at all. I mean, like, I feel like if I have a budget, like even if it was, they said I had $100, like, you know what I mean, like as long as I know the budget and I like the song, I'm gonna come up with a treatment idea pretty much in like a couple hours. Like writing it down is as simple as like I shot listed out, and then the treatment design is like different. Like, because if some artists are like, you know, I need to see a visual treatment, you're like, all right, I need to like go get screenshots or like other music videos or literally draw up scenes. But my treatment style is different because I kind of shot list it all out and just like paint them the picture, and then also with an itinerary of like the day, so they understand how we're gonna do everything and the timing it's gonna take to do certain things. And then that's really easy, like, because if you do it like that, then for yourself, you're like going in and you're like, I already pretty much shot listed everything out for myself, and I told myself how I'm gonna do it. I processed this all pretty much in a couple of hours. You know what I mean? But it might be different from everybody else, but I feel like I did that from being so consistently doing the same thing over and over and over, like music videos all the time. All the resources were pretty much like hitting up every week. You know what I mean? Hey, I need to do this, you know, get this equipment. And like a lot of the equipment, you know, Red and, you know, and stuff like that. I didn't own a Red for the first 4 years, you know, of living in LA. And then it turned into a thing of like, I spent $100,000 just in rentals alone. You know what I mean? Think about that. And then you're like, damn, but obviously it wasn't time and stuff. But I'm thinking, if I just own the camera, and then every, you know, time I needed to rent it or something like that, I put that in pocket. Then I realized that was the business. You know what I mean? Like, so that, you know, I did that like 2 years ago. I invested in the Red full on, just bought the Red. You know what I mean? And that was the best thing I ever did. That was the best thing I ever did, was buy that Red.
Why do you say that?
Well, because at the time I pretty much spent all my money and had nothing, knowing like I'm going to do this and I have nothing. But guess what I did have was a music video the next day. And I'm going to use that Red. And I'm going to make that kind of money every day, kind of thing, you know? So what happened is that Red also got me in the door to do a TV show, commercial work and stuff like that. But, you know, everybody needed, I got the best camera at the time. It was the Red Helium 8K, and no one had it, you know what I mean? So I was one of the only people in LA that was like accessible. Like, you could just reach out to me. I'm down to come out and do your video like for a couple $100. Like, and that was me getting into the world, just like, hey man, like I know rates, I know the industry rates, I'm gonna honor them, I'm gonna go in there, I'm not gonna sit there overcharging people just because I got the best camera or something, you know. So when I did that, I got respect and I got more work than I guess average, and then it paid off, you know what I mean? So like I got to, you know, talk my way into do these movies and stuff, you know.
Yeah. Nah, I fuck with that heavy. Well, you have a strong belief in yourself, and you can tell that you believed it. You know that you knew that this is what you wanted to do. Where did that come from?
I guess I can say it like this, like my family didn't raise me to like not believe in myself. So like in a way, like I did definitely like get it from my family just to like do what you want to do. And my dad and my mom both like sang early on and stuff like that. So they always had like the music thing in the vibe. So I know how to sing. I can sing good. I can hit notes and stuff. Yeah, for sure. That's my boy. You know what I mean?
Give us
that's my boy. Hey, we were just singing the other day. He didn't realize it. You know what I mean? Like, so like that's the thing is my brother's a really, really talented musician. Like I'm talking from beginning to end. I actually want him to start songwriting for my artists, like because you know, that's the thing is like my family is really talented and very hardworking and driven. And so I got that just from the genes, you know what I mean? The Perry blood.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
What is your process like from pre-production to post-production when it comes to directing the video?
I'll put it on the everyday average standpoint that, you know, everybody's going to be able to relate to. It just, you get that connection with the artist. And you're never going to really like have fun with it unless you like really do genuinely like what you're doing. So like if I, you know, meet an artist and we connect, we're just chilling, we're just talking, we're just making it like a friendship. Then we come up with a concept, then we get everything driven. Then I get, you know, whatever equipment I need, which these days being in LA, you have like such a really, you know, you can get anything you need literally. And as long as you have the money for it, you can get anything you need. Like I got bears, tigers, like, you know, anything we need as far as equipment, like bolt, you know, cameras and stuff like that. You know, it's like whatever you need. But it's just getting the equipment, getting really a good hardworking team, and sometimes it's just your friends, because that's really it. Like a lot of the, you know, the team I have is my friends, and then I will kind of like meet people on like behind the scenes and stuff like that. I'll be like, I'm on a Chris Brown music video or something like that, and I'll be talking to everybody and getting assembling a team. So then it's like, you know, obviously get your equipment, get your team, and then when you go on set, I'm the camera guy, I'm the director, and then I am editing it, so I know what I need, and I know when I have enough or anything like that. So I'm just editing I'm shooting until I have enough, and then editing is a whole game for me because my value is editing. You know what I mean? Why people reach out to me to like even fix their music videos is because the editing is like, I'm really good at editing, and I've been doing it for like over 10 years, and so I can make or break anybody's music video with just like an edit, obviously. So I just, you know, edit that thing to the max, and I take my time. I do the proper coloring. I do proper like noise reduction, everything. So when you watch my image, you're like, why does that shit look so clean? You know what I mean? It's because I properly know how to process it in post. You know what I mean? So
speaking of editing, what softwares are you editing your videos with?
Premiere and After Effects, and just link those together. Yeah.
Tell me about some of the artists that you shot for and some of the production you've done.
All right. So, I mean, I do 99% of my work is independent artists. And I kind of like love that because any of the artists that I work with could potentially just blow up. And then, you know, I'm with them from the beginning. And that's an exciting feeling for every artist that I work with, honestly. Like, I kind of think about that with every single person I envision the next year if, like, this video took off type shit. You know what I mean? So I want to give, that's why I said first the independent artists, but then people want to hear the big names. So like I got to do, I guess, like a lot of behind the scenes work, which was really personal, which I liked that. It was like, instead of going on the music video and just shooting the whole music video and then it's done, a lot of times I was spending days with these artists. So it'd be like Chris Brown was one of the first people, Childish Gambino was one of the first people, Tyga was one of the first people, and then I ended up working with Shine Papers because on set of Tyga's music video I met the Shine Papers people and they worked together, so I got to like work with Shine Papers. But then you know, I got to work with like Quavo and like a lot of big artists, man. Like, now that I think about it, it's like, you know, just a lot of people that I look up to, like Gucci, like Gucci, man. Like I really fuck with Gucci like heavy, and then to be able to be like, bro, to be able to be like in the same room and then him know your name and be able to like respect you and like know your work and stuff, like that's crazy. So you know, I got to give love to all like those people. But some of the artists, you know, that I really want to work with, just haven't had the chance. So like,
who do you want to work with?
Yo, Travis Scott, yo, hit me up, bro.
Hit him up.
Hit me up, Trav, bro. I got some ideas for sure. But no, Wiz, honestly, Wiz is like a thing I feel like I'm like working on like it's like everything's timing and stuff. So I put it out there as like energy, but I really want to work with Wiz because some of the reason why I got into music videos is because I watched Mac Miller and Wiz's music videos early, and it was like that's what made me, you know, driven. And I actually, you know what, I edited a day to day. So if anybody's a real Wiz fan and has watched day to days, I edited one of the day to days. So that was like the closest I got to working with Wiz. And
That's
so
lit. It was gonna happen soon.
Yeah, man. Everything, like honestly, I'm patient, man. Like Gary Vee taught me that, man. I'm just patient. I just take everything like one day at a time. Yeah. Work that day though. You know what I mean? Like,
Oftentimes. Can you tell us about the movie coming out?
All right, so the movie is The Sesh, and the movie, and I'm blessed to say that it was my first feature film. Well, it's my first film actually. I've never done like anything like even a short film that's like got a budget behind it. So the movie is, you know, it's a comedy, and it's got some of our like legendary, you know, these big actors, you know, like you know Juwanna Mann. Yeah. You know Juwanna Mann. So we got Juwanna Mann. We got you know Jamie Kennedy from Malibu's Most Wanted. So he features in it. Yeah. We got legends like Eric Roberts, man. We got Debo from Friday, man. We got man. We got Debo in there. We got Andy Dick. We got a couple. Man, if I'm blanking on anybody, they're gonna hate me. But like, but we got like some cool legends. And the thing is then we collaborated. I want to say first was like the legends, right? And then we collaborated that with like influencers. So we got a lot of influencers in here, like the Cannabis Squirrel and Long Neck. You know that. You know Long Neck. We got Long Neck in it.
Oh, that's crazy. Shout out to Long Neck. Sure.
And we got. I don't actually. I feel like I'm spoiling this though. So, but we got a lot of like influencers in there. Some like girls and stuff that you guys have seen their buzz and stuff. Maybe you've seen them from behind. That's it. That's it. But like, we got a couple of people in there, and so it's gonna be a good little look. Yeah.
What are some recommendations you can give to like up and coming videographers who are trying to like get into doing music videos?
I mean, actually, can you just say the first part of that real quick?
What advice could you give to upcoming videographers that are trying to get into into films and music videos?
Yeah. So like, I would just say if you're getting into it, like, just shoot for any person that makes music or has a brand. Yeah. So I'll say like, if you're just like, how do I get into this business? Like, well, do you have friends that rap? Yeah. And they'll be like, no, but I'll be like, do you know anybody that make music? Well, maybe like, well, then that's your first thing is like reach out to people that make music. Yeah. And then if you don't know that, then who owns a company around you? Who's friend, family, anybody who owns a company? And that's how you're starting to get into the doors of like, you know, word of mouth. You know, they're going to start saying, hey, so-and-so shot my video and you should get something from him. So it's the only way to get in.
A lot of people say like the music game has changed, but like a lot of the clout chasing and a lot of like the people doing the extras. Do you feel like that transfers over to the film game with like people doing high budget films versus like focusing on say the artistic direction more?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I mean, in these days there's so many people doing the music videos that it's kind of like diluted in a way, because if you have a Sony like A7S and a Ronin, you're pretty much like you have like that look and everything. Like, you have a good look and you can do a music video for no money in a way, in a sense. Like, it doesn't cost you anything to have a dope music video. So it's like it will oversaturate because there's too many people that don't give a fuck about making like a creative, like kind of like having a look and having a style. And even if you don't have a budget to get things, somehow making it creative instead of just like, you know, like just taking and just walking down the road or something, like, you know, and like doing a one take with it or anything, just like, you know, instead of investing in a little bit of equipment or something like that. Just so I guess it's just to compare that from the high budget music videos is like they have all the money to do everything they want to do, and then when you don't have the money to do it, you kind of just be like, we'll do whatever, you know what I mean? So that's where I can see where you're coming from, but like, you know, it just takes that one person. Is he creative? Is he driven? Or does he just want to get money? You know what I mean? So there's that everywhere, and from the bottom to the top of this whole field. So like, it's really just who you work with.
What would you say is the most challenging obstacle you faced so far in your career, and how did you overcome it?
Separating yourself from everybody, I guess. Like, there's a big world of people that, you know, can shoot your video or create your content, but you have to have a brand and you have to have an image and you have to have, like, I'm talking your image of your camera has to look nice. Everything has to look beautiful, and then that has to show. So, I mean, that's just it. And like, I don't know how to explain it, but that, yeah.
What is a perfect day for you? Your ideal perfect day.
I mean, if we're just waking up, chilling, like I have a you know, these perfect little dogs and stuff, so I like to you know, chill at home with my dogs and stuff.
What type of dogs?
I have a white husky and like a Chihuahua Terrier, and I've had them for like 5-6 years. And yeah, so it's kind of like, you know, my perfect day is just chilling out and then being able to enjoy the fruits of my labor. But when I feel like the perfect day of a shoot is like having a budget, being able to go on set, and I honestly like that feeling of being on set and you have everything working, like just everything's going perfect, which it rarely happens, but there's sometimes where like, you know, you're able just to sit there and smoke a blunt while like everything's operating, and you're like, damn, like this is crazy. I put this whole thing together, like, and no one knew what I had to do to produce it, because a producer sets up everything. There's people don't get it, you know. If you're a producer of a music video, you're setting up everything from hiring everybody to locking locations to writing out paperwork to doing everything. I have to do that all myself. So all that, people don't get what you have to do just to lock in the big thing, and then you have the crane operating, you got the steady cam running, you got the guy pulling focus and everything, and it's like you made it all happen, and that's I feel like a perfect day. You know what I mean? Like if you just have everything rocking at your set, you got the artists going crazy, you got their management happy, and I'm happy, and I'm looking at everybody, and people be like, "Yo, are you the artist?" Because you're right, hey man, you know the whole word, every word of the song. I'm like, bro, you know what I mean? So that's like, I feel like I get into that mood a lot where I'm like hyped up on set because I love the music. I love being able to do this for a passion, you know what I mean? And then for money, I guess. So it's dope.
How hard is it to get the budgets that you want?
I mean, it really comes from like who you work with, because sometimes I'll hear a song and I'll be like, damn, this requires a budget, you know what I mean? So then you have to explain to the artist, like, so what you were talking about in the song, it's a little hard to do what you want. So I guess like it's really about the artist that comes with you. Some people will rarely come out of the woodworks and they'll be like, well, I got this investment from so-and-so, and you'll be like, damn, like you just started rapping like a week ago and now you're about to do a big but then there's the people that are doing music videos every week, you know what I mean? And you're like, I mean, I can see how you can only afford a couple thousand, because you're doing music videos all the time, like you know, I respect that. So I'm sitting there being like, you know, I don't fight for the biggest budget, but I understand the value of it. And I separate my rate from the whole budget. So people don't think, all right, Nate's getting this big budget that we're giving him. He's getting this amount and he's showing us how we get the rest. You know what I mean? So like, and I'm like, that's it. So if you can say to somebody, hey, well, you understand my rate, now let's just add to it. Like, you know, see what we want for the budget. And then it ends up ranging, you know, in like, you know, around 5,000 to 10,000 on like the average end, because that's what you need for a really, really, you know, I guess like full music video. You know? So
what is your favorite food spot right now?
I'm vegan, so man, there's like spots like Veggie Grilled out here every day, man. I've been ordering like spots like that, but anything vegan, man. I got like Gracias Madres. We got like we got Garden Walk, man. We got and then every day I eat acai every day. Really? Every day. Why? Because it's like in the morning, like I feel like I just need something refreshing and hydrating. What better than a bowl of like fruit and this like acai berry like sherbet, like stuff so fire. So I eat that every day, and that like pretty much like energizes me in the morning. I have a good nice full meal twice a day, 3 times a day, and then that's pretty much my regimen. You know what I mean?
I like to ask this question to everyone who comes on the show. If you could pick yourself to be any animal in the world, what would it be and why?
Probably a wolf, like a white wolf. Because I have a white wolf, and I imagine like what he feels like, and it's dominant. You know what I mean? And it's just like fun, and like he's like a beautiful animal. I feel like he's free spirited. You know what I mean? So, what are some tips you have for people who want to make music videos but they don't have the budget or the nice film equipment and all that? I'd say it's not really in the having a budget, really, because I've done music videos for no money and with you know, the cheapest cameras, and these days, like I said, your phone is a very high quality camera. Yeah. And it might be like, you know, for people, you know, you add that in the music video and it looks like a music video. Like, yeah, man, like, you know, so really just think about it like that. You don't need the best equipment to do a music video or do any type of film. Like, it just takes editing good, like, I guess, and you can look up on YouTube find some good ideas, like tricks and tips. You know what I mean? Like
YouTube University.
Bro, that's how I dropped out of high school. By the way, I dropped out of high school, and that was like a big thing. Was like obviously people were like, "Yo, you gotta go to college. You gotta do this. You gotta do that." Like film school was like an idea, but I dropped out of high school, and I have been very successful in a field that obviously I feel like you didn't need to go to high school, especially in the day and age of YouTube. Yeah. So like you said, YouTube University is like the biggest thing for us filmmakers, because you can go on there and pretty much, I mean, from the first day I got a Red, I didn't know how to operate it, and I just went on YouTube and was like, how do I operate a Red? Yeah. I got to shoot a music video today. So, yeah.
No, I went to college, but I'm a firm believer in that, like, you don't really need college to be successful at all.
Yeah, it's
which I've seen proven time and time again. Like,
unless like you
want to be a doctor or like a surgeon,
some places something. You just gotta go to college.
Some shit requires school.
Yeah, you gotta get a certificate. And that requires school. There you go. You ain't gonna open me up. You ain't gonna cut me up without a certificate. I swear to God.
Hell no. Nope. I feel like with music videos, you kind of know what you're gonna get before you watch it. So like when you see your videos, your edits, your effects, your style, they're always different. But like at the same time, people can watch it and know it's a Nate Perry's film. How do you continue to keep things fresh with your brand and your filming?
That's a good question, and that's a good way you put it. But I feel like everything I do is versatile. Like I'll show, if you go on my Instagram and scroll down, and nothing looks like the same. You know what I mean? Like there's some that are like similar if I want to nitpick it, but I try to make it so you could see that you can see your image in any of my music videos because I don't do the same thing over and over again. So people will know when Nate Perry filmed just because it'll be a conclusive music video that has been very precisely. I'm a perfectionist. So every time I'm editing, I'm sitting there nitpicking every little thing. And sometimes the artist will be like, hey, can we change this one shot or whatever? I'll be like, all right, you understand. Like, I went through every frame of everything. Like, we can change that, but we can only change it with this. Yeah. So I'm very, very precise. So when people watch my music videos, they just feel like, dang, this is a very high quality video. And I didn't even, sometimes like it's way over exceeds the budget that they put into it. Obviously, it looks like a movie. Yeah. And that's just because I have a really good camera. I know how to use it. I know how to edit. And then it's just separating yourself. Like I try to explain to the artist, like very, like you gotta invest more into the music video than you are thinking. So if I even have to discount my rates sometimes, I always do that. You know what I mean? Because working with artists that are consistently investing in themselves, like I can't be like, well, no, like I need this amount. I'm not working with you because I mess with them. I really fuck with them. Like I don't want to like sit there and be like pushing away and be like, you know, missing out on opportunities because I'm money hungry or something. So a lot of time I'll stress the idea of like, yo, if we can just think of the coolest way to do this music video for like obviously the lowest budget possible, let's do it. You know what I mean? So that's like the words that come out of my mouth the most is like, let's just make this happen for the lowest amount possible because I understand where this is happening, you know, where you're coming from. And then I want to do more music videos, so let's just keep going.
Keep it rolling. No, I think that's a great mindset to have, and I think the artist appreciates it too, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
When people see a Nate Perry film, what is it that you want them to see?
I want them to be like driven to create themselves if they are a content creator. If they're an artist, I want them to see working with me in that. Like I want them to be like, dang, that is so like dope. I gotta reach out to that person and I want something like that for myself. Yeah. So that's why I keep it versatile. That's why I keep my thing different. I work with all different genres of music. I work with all different, age groups of any type of, I'll do weddings, man. I'll do your wedding and I'll make it look really cool. So so it's pretty much that, man. Like just explaining to everybody that.
But off tops. You've been shooting music videos for a while. What do you think has changed the most in your videos over the years?
My attention to detail on like trying to improve, like to make it look cinematic, coloring the best. Now I feel like trying to get into CGI and a lot of animation and stuff like that, meaning like not animation like cartoons and stuff, but like anything that is like, I guess, computer generated CGI is going to be like, the new age of things. Like every type of movie, every music video even has some type of incorporated, fake art asset in the music video. So what we're doing with that now is reaching out to people that are, you know, very talented and go to school or do whatever, just very driven to make you know, CGI, and I want to incorporate that into my videos. I want to do a lot more creative.
That's lit. Who did your chain?
Hey, shout out Blue Moon. Hey, so like, yeah, shout out Blue Moon and Co. So like, they are in downtown LA, Jewelry District. They did mine. They gave me a good deal. You know, and I tell everybody all the time, like, they'll beat everybody's prices, and 9 times out of 10, like, the diamonds that you got were probably like sourced from them. So like, they got the best diamonds in the city. So straight up.
It's blinging in here for sure. I'm sure y'all can see it. What is something that most people don't know about you?
That I'm just chill, man. Like, I don't really do too much. Like, I don't like partying and stuff. And people might think like, oh damn, Nate's out in LA doing crazy things. And I just be chilling, man. Like, I stay at home a lot of the time, and that's like a thing that people don't really see. The like calm side of me, I guess, is like they see like the internet shit, and then really I'm just chilling, like smoking. Like, I smoke a lot of weed, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. So a lot of people don't know that, but like, yeah, I mean, a lot of people do know that. You know what I mean? I even grew, like, you know, grew weed and shit. And I got a green thumb. We call it Nate Perry Farms over here, man. Like, we smoking on Nate Perry Farms all day. I got a joint in the pocket that we could burn. We could right now, but I guess we can't around the equipment. But
I wish soon
come. We're gonna have it
soon coming. What advice would you tell your younger self with all the knowledge that you've gained now?
I mean, I guess it'd just be like, keep doing what you're doing because it got you in the place you're at right now. But I tell young people, like I said, just like, since I can give them like the blueprint, you know what I mean? I'll just say, like, do as many music videos for all the artists you can, and just reach out as many people as you can, and work until your whole family's set. Screw you, because you'd be selfish if you didn't have your mom living better than you are. Exactly. So like, I'm trying to do that, like, and shout out to my mom, because she knows I like take care of her right now, and that's why I'm like, that's the motivation, man. Like, so yeah, for the family, man, I want to put everybody, like, a bag in everybody's pocket, even my boys. They're gonna be going. So
tops. That's definitely the goal. For my final question, could you just tell us what you got coming next?
Oh man, we're doing a lot of movies now, like, and I say that not music videos. I'm talking real full length movies. Like, I'm trying to do like psychological thrillers, man. I'm trying to do like horror films. I'm trying to get into like, you know, I guess like movies that just make it jump, make you think. And that's the type of movies I like, are like the ones that like make you think and be like, oh damn, I gotta rewatch this, because the first 90% of the whole movie I thought one way, and they last minute I was blindsided. So the next movies I'm getting into, I'm trying to collaborate with writers that are really creative, and I'm trying to bring their idea to life, because I lack some of those super crazy ass concepts, but then, you know, that little seed of a idea will spark the biggest thing with me. So the next thing to come is movies, man, like a lot of movies. So I'm stoked for that, man.
Oh, tops.
Yeah.
Once again, I appreciate you coming through and stopping by for the interview. Can you give your Instagram one more time so the people know where to follow you at? Yeah, man. So Nate Perry Films, and just hit me up on there, man, because I answer all my DMs, everybody. And then my email is thisisnateperry, and you can hit me up on that, because I just read my emails and my DMs all day just to stay up to everybody's thing. So yeah, you can just hit me up on the IG until we turn into something else. But also subscribe to my YouTube channel, because on my YouTube channel, which is Nate Perry Films, you'll see a lot of exclusive content, because the stuff that I'm releasing right now is a lot of behind the scenes from the projects that I was just talking about. Yeah. And I realized that I'd never really put out my behind the scenes, and people know how I do my stuff. So I have a series coming out for my behind the scenes, and it's going to be very exciting, because when I do that, it's going to show people how you do a music video by yourself, pretty much. And if you don't do it by yourself, how you utilize all your friends and resources to make the best thing happen. So the next thing is like, my YouTube channel is gonna be crazy, and it's gonna be like those filmmakers that want to know like how they can be, you know, in this world. That's where they need to subscribe to, because I feel like you'll just kind of see the raw. I'm not gonna hide anything. I'm just gonna be the most honest, straightforward person, and I have a really good way of putting that out to people. I know exactly what they want to see. So I think that's dope as hell.
Yeah, man.
I
Yeah.
can't wait to see it.
Yeah, and I wanna come back, and then when we have like a series of this, we can see where everybody's at, man.
Hell yeah, let's keep doing it. You already know.
All
Hey,
right.
Perry, I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you.